Hello.
Hello everybody again. We're
Yep.
back.
Yep. This time we're just doing a full season review.
Yeah. So this does not really cover all the stuff for next season. This is just our season review for last season.
Yeah. Granted, there will be a few things we won't put into this one because we have covered it already in our previous video. And if you'd like to see that, I'll try and put an annotation on this video, and at the very least a link in the description below. So that way you can watch it if you want. So, where shall we start? What do you reckon?
How about accusations of Rosberg holding up everybody in the Monaco Grand Prix?
That is something we didn't cover last time, isn't it?
That was.
Yeah, that was a little weird thing to happen.
Yes, apparently the story behind that was during one of the driver interviews at the Monaco Grand Prix. Someone basically said the drivers at the front were so slow we couldn't get any speed.
I don't think Vettel was going to try and pass him given the situation. He finished second. He wanted to get more points than his opponents. Anyone that's in second or third, and he got that.
Yeah.
So the situation benefited him. That's why he didn't try and pass.
Yeah.
So that's that at least.
Yeah. And Webber had an interesting season there. He either retired or he was in the points.
Yep. Very mixed season. But that's nothing compared to what happened to Paul di Resta.
Why, what happened to him?
Well, he retired 5 times in a row. That must be some kind of new record.
Yeah. Well, if you know about the record, maybe you could tell us below.
Yeah. But then we had a very good session out of Van der Gaard. He had a couple of good showings.
Yeah. Didn't he enter the qualifying twice in a row? The second part of qualifying?
Yes, he did.
For a new driver and a rookie season?
His teammate Pete also had a very good season. He was very consistent out of all the. He's the most consistent out of the newest drivers. Well, team's drivers.
That's good.
Yeah.
And who can forget Vettel? He dominated the second half of the season.
He gained records.
Yeah.
But there was I'm sure there was something he didn't do.
Yeah.
What was that? I can't remember.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Max Chilton did this, and so did Jenson Button, but
Really?
Vettel didn't.
I wonder what this was. Would it be doing something to do with every race?
Yeah, how about this one? The only 2 drivers that did not finish every race, who actually finished every race, sorry,
Yeah.
were Max Chilton and Jenson Button, but Vettel had 1 retirement.
Yeah, a lot of drivers seem to get only 1, 2, or 3 retirements throughout the entire season. And yeah, that's a strange thing. I wonder who's ever finished an entire a championship winning season by finishing every single race. Not something we could look into at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, but then there was. I'm trying to think of his name now.
Bianchi?
Bianchi, that was it.
Bianchi.
He just got there. Yeah, he was the best placed Finnish driver out of all the new teams.
Yeah.
Because quite a few of the other drivers did finish like 14th or as the highest. Bianchi actually finished higher than that, about 13th or so. So yeah, that was a quite good situation for him. Given Russia 10th place in the constructors.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was really good. And obviously, the radio quotes can't go amiss.
Yep.
So for our first one, it's Vettel quotes Raikkonen with.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. And Rocky replied with,
I've got evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, then there was the operations director of Lotus saying to Vettel, not Vettel, Raikkonen, that get out the bleeping way.
And Raikkonen told him not to bother him while cornering.
Yes, I'm sure you all remember this one with in that one race. Was it Abu Dhabi? I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all. Quickfire stuff as disorganised as that was.
Yeah, well, never mind.
Not a quick fire as we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I believe we're gonna go into. We're talking about our most memorable race of the entire season,
Yeah.
which was Malaysia, because we remember. But there are a lot of races we have skipped over because we're not going to bother talking about because, well, it's kind of one instant kind of overshadowed everything else, and we don't. In hindsight, we don't remember too much of the race.
Yeah.
It's just one instant kind of overshadowed it. Like, for example, the Silverstone GP, the tyres blowing out. That was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big talk about the point of that one, and
Yeah.
we don't remember too much else of it. So yeah, I think we agreed on
Malaysia.
Yeah, because there wasn't just the multi-21 off Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber's radio,
which is the one that everyone obviously remember as a focus point. But if you remember, Rosberg and Hamilton were in two strong places, but they had a fuel problem, both of them, and they were told not to pass each other and just to maintain their places. And they were, and there was a little bit, well, we don't want to do this.
Yeah, Rosberg wanting to pass, but not being told not to.
Yeah.
Sort of situation. So yeah, that's kind of a big point as well in that race. And then there was one early point which I really, really liked. Probably most favourite and most memorable moment of the entire season. Because it was raining early in the Malaysia race, and watching in the going into the second lap, Alonso having a broken front wing, and it just drops and goes under the tyres, and he goes sliding right off the track. Almost like, as a point made out, he was just waterboarding.
Yes.
Yeah, we did mention this in this race in the first half. It was the first part of the season review. So, well, yeah.
We won't go too much into that.
Yeah, we won't go any further into that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a good. It's a good race anyway. But those are the most memorable points. Yeah. So that's anything else you can feel like we can add to this point?
I think we covered most of it, and I think also another thing about the Malaysia race being early on was that quite a few drivers had good races, and it wasn't just like you would have expected the Mercedes to be in the top 5, in that part of the season, and then obviously you had Red Bull fighting it out with I think it was Kimi Räikkönen was like in the middle of them all.
Yeah. He started a good strong start to the season.
Yeah. And it was just little things like that as well that made it a good race.
Yeah. So yeah, some of the other points that we do have seen in the second half of the season, which we have to say that is a big thing. Which we do, because this is what it's mainly about, the second half of the season. So yeah, this is something. Next thing that we got lined up is something that you want to talk about.
Yeah, the whole Matt Webber incident. It was. Everyone knows that it was his last
drinky
last season, and what I wanted to basically put the points across was the whole catch a ride thing and being the third strike and the reactions and everything that came with it. Yeah. Like basically, the first strike was causing a collision with Rosberg in Bahrain, and the second strike was not sufficiently slowing down under yellow flags.
So yeah, this whole thing at Korea was just a bit of a, well, it kind of highlighted a few instances where it was, it has happened before. It's just that I think there was a few other points that made it a point of them having to take action on it, as well. Other times they haven't, because I think it was Hamilton that said that he saw the car, then he had to avoid it, but he was quite fortunate not to hit Mark Webber because he chose to go the right way around the car rather than going. He kind of chose right in that sense.
But in the meantime, on other sources, it says that Webber could see the car clearly, and he knew how to avoid them because of where he was at, and the fact he had a pretty good vision on that.
Yeah.
And also at the point, I didn't actually realise this until I looked it up, but Kimi Räikkönen was willing to give him a left too.
Yeah,
and apparently that upset Rosberg, because apparently Rosberg was wanted to know why two cars almost slowed to a halt.
Yeah, there was Webber did say, at least apparently, that there was no kind of communication between him and Marshall's, which was the main issue of it, because he didn't have permission to, because I think it was a ruling of no car can stop on track, nor can the no driver can walk on track.
Yes.
Without permission.
So both those rules were kind of taken out.
That was the main sticking issue with it. I think that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, and I do think, and also Christian Horner said in Matt's defence, on this occasion it was good for the show, it was good TV, and it should have been dealt with a fine or a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, but it's kind of one of those situations where it's questionable to which side you side with. Really, yeah. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, but if there were no stewards talking to Matt, then that was probably the biggest issue of them all in that situation.
Yeah, that's just one of the big things, isn't it?
That's true, but
yeah.
But like I said, it's like, should he have got the 3 strikes? And apparently only 2 people have ever got 3 strikes into first penalties. The other one being Pastor Maldonado.
And obviously Mark Webber was the second one.
Yeah.
You should say that first.
Yeah.
Mark Webber
was second.
And yeah, Pastor Maldonado received his 3rd strike in Brazil last year. That was a big thing. Yeah. But I would imagine that most of that was down to the fact that it was the 3 strikes thing was more of a more recent information into the rules.
Yeah.
But we haven't done too much research into why they're the only 2.
Yeah.
We don't want to drag this on too long.
No.
We just want to get a decent discussion out of it, actually. That's all we wanted out of this one.
Yeah. And did you want to discuss the ruling of leaving track limits in the Indian Grand Prix?
Yeah, there's the Indian Grand Prix. During qualifying, Charlie Whiting had said that drivers were allowed to go outside the track limits, which I kind of disagree with, because you can't have one ruling for qualifying, one ruling for races, because he did say once the race starts, that's it, you can't go out. And yeah, I just don't like that. It's there are rules on that, and you should stick to that rule. Should be no variation to that rule. And I wouldn't have minded too much of an issue with it. I wouldn't have had too much of an issue with it if it was the same rule for both race and qualifying. But since it was 2 different rules for both, it kind of made it a bigger issue than it was for me. But it still would have been an issue. The rules is you can't go beyond the track limit. All 4 wheels can't go beyond the track limit to gain an advantage. They would clearly gain an advantage, because why else would pretty much every single driver leave the track in order to get around the corner with carrying more pace?
Yeah, that's true. And also apparently the reason given for this is because the corners are very. Sometimes you can't see them, so going off the track actually doesn't give you advantage. It's safer, or something like that. And it's like, how did they come to that conclusion? Maybe they should redesign the track if that's a problem.
From what I've heard, that they have redone that corner a couple of times. They tried to make it so that there's a better corner, but it's still a bit of a the driver should at least know whether should get each team should get the drivers to learn that track as much as they can, learn where the breaking point for that particular corner is, then that way that it won't be an issue. Yeah. Not kind of give a bigger issue by saying, oh, you can go beyond the track limits during qualifying. Yeah, but this is something that we can't, it's just Oh jeez, it's just one random ruling.
Yeah, if you've got any ideas on this or any comments, feel free to comment below as well.
Yeah, yeah. I can't really say too much more about it. I like just slightly annoying for me. Yeah. So next thing up, we should go into. Yeah, is the kind of what happened over the last second half of the season.
Yeah.
In regards to drivers and teams.
Yeah, so we'll start off with McLaren because they improved the points finish in the second half of the season with Button. When Button had the team's the highest finishing position at the end of the race.
I should point out for everyone at home, we've got this. Yes. We've both got one, and that's what we're looking at. That's why you seem to be just looking down, reading, and dropping mine.
Yes, it's
yeah.
just.
So I just thought I'd point that out. I know it's about halfway through, but thereabouts. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that.
And here's mine as well, just to prove it to you.
Just to prove there you go. Too. But yeah, they got the highest place finish in Brazil. Yeah, it's yeah, it's. But
it's like most people think McLaren are going to bounce back next season, but
yeah,
well,
but that's to be expected really, because they did say, but this is something that we will go a bit more into next season because but this is something that affected this season. They did stop production on new parts for the car, kind of partway through the season because they wanted to focus on next season's car.
Yeah.
That's the main reason I think they're going to bounce back. But obviously, the improvement in the second half of the season clearly wasn't enough for Perez to keep his seat. But like I said, we'll keep going to that a bit more in the next video we put up for F1.
Yeah. Well, the next thing is the Sauber team.
Yeah,
because they really did improve in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And who can forget that famous dogfight with Hulkenberg
in Korea?
In Korea.
Yeah, with him holding back, was it Hamilton, Alonso and Rosberg? They're all behind him in that order. And he had a big group catching him.
Yeah, Button, Massa, Perez and Gutierrez.
Yeah, which that was quite a good showing of him. And Gutierrez getting up there. Yeah, and was just keeping up with him. He looked like he was keeping up the pace with the that group that he was in as well. And he was showing, which we should point out, that he was showing a lot more confidence in that second half of the season.
Yeah.
And that was just another race where it showed.
Yeah. But he did only score once, but he generally was like 11th and 12th, wasn't he?
He was mostly, for the most part, he was around about the top towards the points, but not quite scoring. But he seemed to be a lot more confident about his situation in the second half of the season. That seems like he was showing that not only on track but off track as well. So yeah, that was something. Yeah, but yeah, Kimi. That's the next thing we're going to go to.
Unfortunately for Kimi, he had his back injury.
Yeah, we have seen suggestions that he has said himself he's had a back problem for years and years. Well, maybe not years and years, but a long time.
Yeah.
A long time, as he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, his question was when he got this, but because he hasn't, I don't think we've seen him say specifically where he first started with that injury. But it has finally come to a little bit of a head in like the final 3 races I saw. So I think it was. I think I'm not saying that it was. Did I get any problems in Singapore or thereabouts?
Yeah.
And he was fine with the painkillers he was taking.
Yeah. But he got too much for him, didn't he?
Yeah, in the final 3 races he dropped out, and then the final 2 races he just didn't drive for the team at all.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't. Because it was him getting surgery.
Yeah. So his replacement. Heikki Kovalainen, was it?
Yeah, Heikki Kovalainen, yeah.
Yeah, he came in and he was hoping to score points to try and help the constructors the constructors championship. He was, and although he was a bit disappointed with 214 places, it still showed us. We still think it still showed a solid ride.
Yeah, because he was a little bit shaky in regards to driving because he's been out he hasn't been in a good car for a good long while. So it's So I think it's a good showing for suddenly getting a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
yeah.
and also
Grosjean.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just on Lotus, Grosjean put his woes behind him and really had a really good second half of the season.
Yeah, particularly with in between. He had like 2 retirements right at the very end of the season, but in between those 2 retirements, he had some like, was it 4 out of 5 podiums in those
Yeah.
in between the 2, which that really does show that he's potentially next season could be a race winner.
Yeah.
Whether it, or maybe not even next season, might not be next season actually. Come to think about it, it could even be at some point next few years.
Yeah,
That'd probably be a better way to put that.
Yeah, but he did really start showing his potential, and he's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, and lots are really showing the kind of drivers they like, but that's for another time.
Yeah,
we'll go into that one.
Oh, Mercedes.
Yep.
About Rosberg, consistency improved.
Yeah,
in the second half of his
consistency.
Yeah, consistency improved in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he really did. Even though first half of the season he did win a couple of 2 maybe 3 races. I think it was only 2 blind, but in the second half of the season he actually got into the points more.
Yeah,
which was the main thing, which is what Mercedes needs rather than points winnings at the moment. Because he obviously with the sport, the more money you have, the more money you can put into developing your car. So earning more points is going to help that. So being more consistent with points is going to help.
And although Ferrari might have been a little bit upset with their season, they were still the most consistent point scorers throughout the season.
There is a little bit of solitude in that. It's just a little bit of a happy note.
Yeah,
they're very consistent, most consistent duo on the entire thing. Call them Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's bad. I accept that one. That's my fault. Yeah, but they were the most consistent point scorers throughout the entire season. We should clarify that bit. The most consistent point scorers, not the most consistent duo. I don't want people to come back and say they weren't the most consistent. These were the most consistent, which will be a fair point.
Yeah.
But out of the point scorers, they were the most consistent duo. That should be the main point of it.
Yeah.
From what we've seen. But yeah, there was also the Toro Rosso team. They all seem to be.
Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo and John-Eric Byrne.
Yeah. Ricciardo seemed to have the most consistent points on out of the 2.
Yeah. But John-Eric Byrne finished more races in the second half of the season, even though he earned less points.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's I think that should be the main thing. But it seems like fitting for Ricciardo to end up with the problems he did.
Yeah.
I mean, lucky to replace next season. Mark Webber, one of the most unlucky people on track.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be showing the same sort of bad luck.
Yeah, but there again, Matt Webber's also got quite a few second and third finishes.
Well. So hopefully the changing teams will give Ricciardo that sort of boost. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Byrne seemed to have a good showing though, getting the consistent finishes.
Yeah, and the final team I think we want to look at is Williams.
Yeah, they seem to improve in the second half.
Yeah.
Despite all the issues they seem to be having with Maldonado, they did improve.
Yeah.
You can see Maldonado, even though he was having these big dispute with the team, there was a big improvement in where he was finishing. It's kind of outside in that big bubble outside the points. Same sort of situation as some other drivers we've started mentioning, like Gutierrez. They seem to be on that sort of area, like just
in a one little battle, just hoping for that 10th spot kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's he did leave on a good note in some regards. He did finally get Bottas finally did get his points that he deserved.
Yeah,
because he seemed to be getting better and better throughout the entire season. even though Maldonado was having this big argument and with the team. But yeah, that was the main thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but shall we finish with our last piece?
Yeah, the Mark Webber retirement.
Yeah, well, like I said, I know we've mentioned Mark Webber once or twice in this, but we've got to say that he's had a really good time in F1.
Yeah, he's had a good time. You know, you just got to look back over his career. He's had a brilliant career, despite him not getting a world title to his name. He was probably one of the better drivers around without world title.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And it's basically he won a few races in his career, but who can forget his debut race?
Yeah, in his on his home turf in Australia with Minardi, and he sat there. He drove a hell of a race. Granted, he got a good amount of luck with all the drivers those drivers dropping out. But I think the number was like seven drivers left in the race. Back in the days of I think it's back in the days of before the whole 10 players points earnings.
Wasn't that sixth place points earning? Because wasn't it
Yeah.
sixth place was 1 point, fifth place
Yeah,
was 2
yeah.
points.
Yeah, it was that time.
Yeah,
During that time.
Yeah.
And he finished fifth.
yes,
Great finish for him.
yeah,
Yeah, even with a Toyota chased him down. He did hold off that, and that was a great finish for him. Yeah.
yeah. So
So yeah, that was started off his career well, and he got a second place finish on his final race.
yeah,
So he started his career and finished his career in the points.
Yeah.
And not many drivers can actually say that.
I know.
Yeah.
And like I say, good luck to him in his new venture.
Yeah, in the Porsche series. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get to see a bit of that and see how well he's doing. But there is one tribute I do want to make, which I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Because I'm not certain whether we did this last time. We wanted to, but I'm not sure whether we mentioned it. But just in case we didn't, I'm going to do it. And that's to Maria Devossi. I believe that was her name.
Oh,
and if I got that wrong, I apologise. Yeah, but yeah, the Marussia test driver. One of the rare few female drivers to make it into F1, even if it is only as a test driver. I think and yeah.
Didn't she unfortunately have an accident in one of the...
Yeah, she did. She did have an accident.
Yeah.
Her eye got badly hurt, but this year she passed away.
Yeah.
And that was a big dampener to the sport.
Yeah.
There's not enough female drivers in the sport, I reckon.
Yeah.
We need more.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, it's up to... I would say that's more up to the Formula 1 authorities to get that sorted in their own time.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do some program that helps female drivers as well as male drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So now hopefully that's a good enough tribute for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all we want to cover in this one.
Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed it anyway.
Yep. And we'll probably see you early next year when we finally do our beginning of season review, where we will cover the various things like rule changes and changes to the driver lineups and various things like this. Anything that'll affect the season to come.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.